Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to give you my 6-month update on getting my shiny Smile Veneers. The only thing that stays consistent is the grind. Keep on grinding. So in case you guys haven't seen my other video talking about my experience with shiny Smile Veneers, I wanted to talk to you guys today about that 6-month update. So my initial review, you guys can check out if you'd like, so you can get my initial thoughts. Those might be valuable to you if you have not received these yet. And now, if you want to know what they're like 6 months later, that's what today's video is about. I get a lot of comments you guys might have seen or can imagine about these things. These things are incredible. They give you a perfect smile, and you can do it pretty much from home. You know, you don't need to go to a dentist. You don't need to spend a ton of money. I think last time I checked, they cost me about 500 bucks. And really, they didn't cost me 500 bucks because I had an HOA, which is a health savings account, which covered these. So yes, my money was being used to purchase them, but it was tax-free money because it was a medical type of an expense. So that was fantastic. I want to talk today about a couple of things that subscribers have brought up to me. That's comfort, change in the shape or fit of the veneers, discoloration, which is a huge topic, cleaning and storing these, mold, smells, how to avoid mold and smells, and what happens, how do you take care of that if that does occur, and some other things, just aesthetic types of things. Now, you guys may or may not be able to hear a slight lisp. That's because I just popped these in. I don't wear these all the time, even though really you can, unless of course you're going to be eating any type of hard food, which then you do not, for longevity of these things, you don't want to do that. Let me just first talk about what happens when I take these out. When I take these out and I'm around people, let's say I'm going out to dinner, which happens very, very often, I'll have these in all day. I'll be hanging out with these people all day. They see my face like this all day. By the time dinner comes, I pop these out in the bathroom. I go to wash my hands, pop these out. I'm always carrying a case to hold them in. Don't trust them in your pocket unless you have zero choice. Don't put yourself in that position. Carry around at all times if you can. I keep one in the car. I keep one in the house. I keep one in my book bag. A case to hold these in, okay? Very, very important because they are delicate even though they are durable. But after I go to the bathroom, wash my hands, come back to the dinner table, nobody knows. Nobody notices my teeth. I've had one, possibly two people, if I remember correctly, who actually did notice. And when they notice, you can see on their face that they notice. Nobody notices because all day, all the time, most of the time, they're thinking of you as having that smile. So that slight change, nobody notices. Then, once dinner's done, wash my hands, use the bathroom, pop them back in, carry on with my day. I'm not the kind of person who hides this. If somebody mentions it, I will tell them. Sometimes I'll voluntarily tell people. But so far, zero complaints. I walk around with a near perfect smile all the time, and I'm very, very happy with these. As far as comfort goes, they are very, very comfortable. The one thing that you may have to get used to is these things are solid, okay, as you can see. So there is not any slits for your air when you're talking to go through. So you'll feel that while you're talking. When you'll feel that. I feel the air pushing against the teeth. Keep that in mind. As far as comfort, that is the most uncomfortable thing about these things. As far as them being in your mouth, you really don't notice them too much. There have been a couple of occasions when I was at home, gratefully, where I had some insanely huge sneezes, and these things actually shot out of my mouth.
Confusing! Turkey!
That's something I've seen in like some movies, some comedy movies. I never thought in my life that that could actually happen. Yeah, it can happen. So a way to avoid that is to make sure, you really can't avoid sneezing, right? But what you can avoid is having them kind of shoot out. Try to cough the sneeze out. Try not to close your mouth and allow pressure to build up in your face. and explode through your mouth if you can. Cough it out, something along the lines. And if you are going to sneeze, turn your head, walk away, which you should be doing anyway, and cover your mouth gently, okay? Gently. So that if for any reason these things want to fly out of your face, you catch them in your hand, you go to the bathroom, fix yourself up. Nobody knows the difference. That's if you're worried about that. You know, you can walk around with these things and tell people you have them. Personally, I don't mind if people know. I've told so many people and they're just like, wow, that's incredible. And then, you know, you carry on with your day. So that's for comfort. The only thing that I really find to be uncomfortable is the air thing. The fit that these guys did, Shiny Smile Veneers, they did an insanely good fit. Your experience may differ than mine. Everybody's experience is going to be a little bit different. But they got these things so close to the gum line, perfect. So they're not pushing against my gums. So many people are like, oh, don't you hate having something push against your gums? Nothing is pushing against my gums. I barely even remember that these things are in my face until I say the word face and the air doesn't fly out comfortably. Now, change in shape and fit. Has there been a change in shape and fit? There has been a change in fit. There has been a change in fit, but not a change in shape. The shape has remained the same over these last 6 or so months. The fit has changed. You may recall in my first video, I told you guys ask the company to make these as tight as possible. That I still would recommend for a couple of reasons that I mentioned in that video. Again, you can watch that video if you'd like to know. But for an added reason of because these will loosen up over time. The more tight you get them, the better off you are because over time, they're going to loosen up with the repeated on and off motion. So the tighter you get in the beginning, the better off you are in the future, in my personal opinion, okay? Make sure you take into account that you're a different human being than me. If I'm giving you any type of advice that would go against your own nature for any reasons, you have to keep that in mind, all right? Don't take what I'm saying as gospel. The next thing that I'm saying that I'd like to talk about is the discoloration. So many people have come on the channel and they've been like, oh, those things discolor in 2 months, 3 months. And I haven't seen any discoloration. My answer to those, my question to those people, and maybe you guys can let me know in the comments if you guys are some of those people who have had an issue like that, is do you smoke in them? Do you drink coffee in them all the time? Do you not brush them to clean them? Are you constantly drinking tea? You know, what are you doing? Are you eating beets in them? You know, these things are like a plastic, so they're gonna absorb color probably, but I have not experienced that. And every single time I ask, well, do you guys smoke in them? No one ever answers. So you're probably smoking in these things. And if that's the case, get a couple of pairs so that you don't have to worry about destroying your teeth or just quit smoking. I remember that smoking back when I smoked destroyed the color of my teeth. And then after a while of cleaning, finally, they fixed themselves. So no discoloration. Excellent color. These colors are pearl. I did not want to get the bright white because I personally thought that the bright white would be way too white, and I still believe that to be the case, especially since I'm over in Mexico and I got my tan going on, and so those bright whites would be popping out of my head, and I don't need anybody looking at my teeth like, you know, giving them a second look. I want them to look natural. Those bright whites, they're not natural looking in my opinion. Okay, so that covers discoloration. The next thing is cleaning and storing, okay? So many people ask, how do you clean them and how do you store them? Now, again, check with the company if you'd like to. I've checked with the company, and last time I checked with the company said to store them, I can go ahead, because I asked them physically, I said, hey, can I store these in baking soda and water? Because I don't want to use the tablets that the company gives you, the tablets that you find, the generic tablets that you'll find in like pharmacies and stuff like that for dentures, denture tablets. I didn't want to use denture tablets because those are toxic and they can, you know, affect your skin, the skin in your mouth, right? So I want to use baking soda and I want to use water. That's what I do. I put a small amount of baking soda into a cup, pour that water in there, and then I throw these in to that cup after rinsing them off. Do you have to rinse them off? No. because the baking soda will kill the germs. But the more spit that goes into that cup with the baking soda, the more disgusting that water is going to get. Okay? I recommend trying to keep that water as clean as possible. So every time you take these out, I recommend giving them a quick rinse under the sink, maybe a light brushing with a toothbrush. That's it. Dunk them in the water. They're going to sink to the bottom, and they're going to be sterilized for the next time that you need them. That's how I store them, and that's also how I clean them. I clean them using that solution. I'll take a toothbrush. I'll make sure that there's no baking soda particles on that toothbrush, and I'll gently just rub the veneers just like the company recommends you do. Very soft bristle brush, just rub the veneers with some water or some baking soda water, but make sure that there's no hard pieces of baking soda or anything, because you don't want to go scratching your veneers, okay? So that's how I clean and store them. The next thing is there mold associated to these? And is there smells associated to these? And how to avoid each? Excellent question. Yes, mold can become a problem. If you don't clean these, you're supposed to be cleaning them. By cleaning them, I don't mean just dunking them in the water and leaving them and hoping that they're fine. Especially if you're eating and drinking with these, stains are going to start to slowly build up. If you clean them, they wash right off. But if not, they slowly build up. Just like on your regular teeth. If you don't brush, buildup occurs, and then once you brush, it goes away. So you must take off, especially if you're eating or drinking with these, you must take that junk off. You're going to lightly brush the inside of the veneers and the outside of the veneers. You may have to sometimes, once a month, put in a little extra time to make sure if there is a little black mold, occurring on those, you want to get them off. And if it occurs, it's because you're not cleaning it properly. Make sure you have enough baking soda in your water. Make sure that you're taking the time to lightly scrub these things to make sure that they're okay. They're just like your regular teeth. They require maintenance. Very, very important. Smells. Yes, smells will come from these, not necessarily while they're in your mouth, but if you're in a restaurant, for example, and you pop these babies out, throw them in your case so you can eat, by the time you go to put them back in, they will smell. Why? Because you had saliva on them. Your saliva probably, once it dries, unless you have like extremely amazing superhuman hygiene, it's going to have a little smell to it. It's going to be a little disgusting. You throw them back in your mouth just right out of the case, might not be a good idea. So I recommend when you pop them out in a restaurant or something like that, you go to the bathroom, rinse them off with the water. You don't have to scrub them. Rinse them off good with the water, pop them in the case. By the time you come back to put them in your mouth, won't be any smells, at least in my experience, and then you go along your merry way with zero issues. But remember, these things require maintenance if you want a good experience with them, okay? They transform your teeth almost like magic, but they take work if you want that look. So you want perfect teeth, you got to kind of deal with a couple of little things. As far as anything else that I can think of, these things, they're blocking your teeth. There's something amazing about your mouth, and when you don't have these in, your mouth is able to create saliva, and that saliva somehow keeps your lips lubricated. These things, when you're wearing them, somehow, I don't know how, but they cause your lips to become, at least my lips, a little bit chapped. Maybe not chapped, but dry. And if I don't deal with the dryness properly with chapstick, then they will get chapped. So my recommendation is you put a light coating if you find that you're getting chapped or dry lips. Light coating, very light, because if it's too heavy, like you're like piling it on there, they're going to get on the veneers, and then it's going to feel weird, and it may look weird too. So light coating, one here, that's all I've ever needed to fix dryness and to fix any chapped lips that I've had while I'm wearing these. And then when you pop these out at the end of the night and you go to sleep, put on some chapstick just to make sure that your lips are being fed the moisture that they need. So that's all the thoughts that I can think of right now. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll continue to do updates on these things. The company was fantastic. The fit is fantastic. And if for any reason, I hope not, but if for any reason these things ever broke, I would absolutely buy another pair. They were well worth the $500 or so dollars, even if it was out of pocket, if I had the extra money, I would do it. Absolutely, 100% do it. They've changed my confidence. Another thing is, keep in mind, once you start wearing these, you will probably feel very self-conscious when you're not wearing them. Of course, it depends on how good your teeth are and how bad your teeth are, right? If you have great teeth already underneath these and you just want a more perfect smile, well, then you may not feel that, insecure. But many people are getting these because their teeth are not all that great. I'm grateful to say that my teeth aren't all that bad. But I still, even though my teeth are not all that bad, still feel self-conscious when I'm not wearing these. That's a part of what you'll have to deal with. If you get these, you're going to feel very uncomfortable not wearing them. And so I recommend loving yourself for who you are, honestly. I've gotten over that, but there's times where I pop them out, I get a little self-conscious. I'm like, Joe, listen, if people are going to like you, they're going to like you for who you are. You can't have perfection all the time. Even with real veneers, porcelain veneers that you'll spend thousands upon thousands of dollars for, those things chip and break more than you possibly know. That's why I decided not to get those. They're too expensive, and there's no guarantee that they will last. Because even with those, you have to be careful when you're eating. They advise you not to eat hard things like what. So I'd rather take these out at the end of the day than have a real tooth chipped that I have to deal with and then spend another, who knows how many thousands to fix it. So, these things come with some maintenance, they come with some headaches, but I recommend getting used to loving yourself for who you are and then loving yourself even more when you have these in. And when you have to take them out, you just deal with it. I think they're well worth the money, well worth your time, well worth the fitting and all that stuff, the annoyance that comes along with it, because really the annoyance is nothing when compared to getting real dental work done. So if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. This is an honest review. I get nothing for this. This is for the general public because I know I've had a lot of, self-conscious times, especially being on YouTube with my channels. I have multiple channels. Feel free to follow and support if you like this video. Please support my channels, all of them, even if you don't watch the channels. Please support the channels, like, subscribe, and if you enjoy learning about Mexico, bodybuilding, or jewelry, please continue to support my channel. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll talk to you guys at the next one. Take care.